Hi everyone, Lord Crew here, and welcome to my channel. So the topic for today is about weekend rank meta-analysis for week 143. So without further guys, let's proceed. So first of all, we're gonna discuss about the gods matchup, and as you can see, we have a new crowning champion in the terms of the gods, and this is all about Magic for this weekend rank. Magic is the most dominant, and everyone call it back again the Magic Unchained. And so you can see, Magic has like a 53.9% in total win rate, and he's the most highest one. And FYI, he's also the second most popular. As we all know, for the past couple of weeks, nature is the most like the most popular, and they have like around like 40. But as you can see, he has his nature now is the still first, but only 1% difference with Magic. But Magic literally counters nature here, especially the control Magic. That's the main reason why. Like people are now people like for the because of the popularity of nature, people now try to counter nature. And as you can see, that's the main reason why nature suddenly went down into a 47.1 win rate. So if we compare that one last time, nature was like around 50% win rate. 50%. Now it's 47. Technically, the Magic are literally counters. I believe all the three gods here that we see, like the top three, Magic, Death, and Deception, they are like a good counter versus nature. Especially for the control version, and that's literally make nature now like literally way behind, and they're like almost like 1% similar with the War and Light. As we all know, this nature, War and Light, they are known for being aggressive. And if you can see, War is a little bit different. War has like two variation, aggro and control. But compared with nature and light, they are literally pure aggro. And because it was like now, I believe this meta, we are like shifting now from aggro meta into a control meta. And that's the main reason why nature, War, and light has a low win percentage here. Because those three gods are like known for being an aggro, except for War. War has also known for being a control, but FYI, the rest are like Deception, Death, and Magic. They are also known majority for being a control, and especially now Magic, the archetype control meta. Now, if we compare Magic, compare last week, Magic was second to Death, and Death was the one. But we all know there was like a big balance update last week, technically affected all the heirloom because of their like some of the heirloom key cards are like being increased in power, and also been removed in power. But the major one is like the Vanguard, uh the Wretched Vanguard, they removed the front line now. So high chance, like the main reason why the 51.3% the death win rate become lower, because aggro has now an opportunity to win versus death. Why? Because there are no more front line. Imagine if I'm an aggro, I will flood the board. And then if in case my opponent play a lot of heirloom like the Vanguard and the Takat or Necromancer, I will not worry about the Vanguard because he has no front line. I can literally attack directly now those Takat. So Takat and Necromancer, she's supposed to be being like guarded by the Vanguard, but because Vanguard has no front line, and there's like an opportunity like to uh the aggro, like especially nature, to literally wipe out the opponent. But FYI, that are still good in terms of versus control because of those heirloom one. It's like a limited it's like you have like opportunity to do a limited damage, especially every time you do a big Land of the Dead with the Necromancer and Takat combo with the Anubians. So that's the thing. So they reduce the death are good, the especially the heirloom versus control, but now became a little bit weaker versus aggro. As you can see, they are like 30% between control and nature. So that's why he's like become now like 51% compared before like around 54. Last weekend he was like 54 and nature was 50. Now everything changes now. If we compare what last weekend, like the most and poor performance was War, and the popularity of War is like 2.7. But as you can see, there's a big increase in popularity of War and even big increase in the win rate, which is Last weekend rank, this was like 37.7. Imagine War was 37.7, but because they nerf nature and death, War are like literally coming back up now, but in the archetype known for the control war. A control war that use relic. So we will explain more later that one on the archetype. So now we see the big changes. Light now is the most bottom and less win rate now. There's like because of the balance update, there's like a little bit of changes in the meta. Now we will go now with the archetype. So this is like the archetype, and as you can see, there are literally a lot here. Okay, let's go for 500 for now. So as you can see, card draw and the mid range has the one of the most highest like total win rate, and mid range are known for like the spell one. If you watch my YouTube video about my budget spell magic, that's the mid range magic, and usually the main purpose of that is like deals damage and kill your opponent using spells. So the card draw magic, this is like a combination of like adding palace one, like a lot of card draw, and even like the card draw. This is like the card draw are like famous before with the divine order. So now there's also a coming back there. On and the main purpose is the card draw are super good versus control. So this both the one that we see now, like the card draw and the midrange, are both good against control, like especially a control magic one. Sleep death, this is like sleep, you will consider sleep death that if you have like the siren of the grave and the Canopic Hoarder in your deck. So, and that's the main reason there's no more word for board wipe deck, but it's more on like a sleep death. So now they are like either you play like as long as you have those two cards, the Canopic Hoarder uh and the Siren of the Gay, you're considered sleep, but you have like either like a similar build like as a board wipe deck with Apocalypse, or you can build similar with Heirloom. Now Heirloom is also has like a good win rate here. As you can see, both 54 and then 53.5%. Heirloom is still the Heirloom. The main reason why it lowers na win rate because the Vanguard has been nerfed. So usually Heirloom has a dominating between control and the aggro. But now aggro has high more chance now because the Vanguard has no front line. That's what my and but Heirloom are still good versus control because of those damage by Takat and all other Anubian, especially the combo. Regen nature is the most dominant with the 53.5, but the aggro nature is like below. So if we're gonna go individually, like for example, let's start with Death, Sleep Death, Heirloom, and Zombie, three archetype that can be seen in the Mythic rank. The most dominant are both Sleep and Heirloom here. For the deception, the highest one is the control deception and the guild zoo. The control deception are literally with the witch, the wither finger, and also the demogorgon. It's an expensive one. Light is one of the poorest performance, but the most dominating currently so far is like the control light. But still below. Magic is the most dominant. Everything is green for Magic. That's the good thing. He is the most versatile because he has like a mid range. He has a control, and even he has like an OTK. Especially if you see an aggro magic. Aggro magic are like literally more on the school teacher combo now, and they can be an OTK also. So Magic is the most one of the most dominant deck archetype at the moment, dominant god. They have like good deck archetype. All can be used against each other. The most the still most popular, but as you can see, there's a big downfall on aggro nature. Usually, aggro and regen nature dominating has having like a 50%, but as you can see, only regen has the on the good side, and they're only for like 5%. And I see that the remaining 20% are the aggro, and they're like literally has the weakest win rate, 46.5. That's super low. Usually you see like 47, but this is like a super low for the aggro, and they're like 20%. So technically, we might see changes like aggro might be like uh maybe some player of aggro might shift to magic. This is what my prediction for the next weekend rank. And now, as you can see, now we go to the war. War is still mid-range war control. And as you can see, the most dominant are the mid-range ward. Mid-range ward, this is with the Demogorgon, like an control archetype, but FYI, they're only 2%. So means if this is like almost like 2%, you may encounter 1 or 0 at all in a weekend rank, especially on your first 25 game. You may not able to face them because of like the popularity are so low. There are only few people. The mid-range one is very expensive. They have like Demogorgon and they have like the two sets of the best weapons, like the magic missile and the sky. Okay, so now we will gonna proceed now with the net decking and verify like what are the dominant archetype or deck around that we can like copy or we can counter, especially for the next round of the weekend rank. Okay, so as you can see, we already have like the we have the top 20 list here, and as you can see, someone's already managed to have a perfect score here. And FYI, uh, if last week and if the last weekend rank is nature is the most dominant, now it's the other way around. It's magic now is the most dominant. There are 11 player on the top 20 and that use magic, and there are like three kinds of archetype: aggro, card draw, and control. Control is the most famous because there are like 7 player who enter the top 20 using control magic, 3 using the card draw, and 1 using an aggro. Now the second most popular are death. There are like only 4 players. 3 are heirloom death, and 1 is a sleep death. The third most popular on the top 20 are like deception. There are like 3 players who enter using deception, 2 using order deception, and 1 a sleep deception. And then war is the as the in war they are like 2 players. Both are, I believe, is a mid-range, same archetype. Both are mid-range here. And as you can see, there's no nature, and FYI, there's no light. So light and nature are missing in the top 20. So if we compare that on last weekend rank, nature is the most dominant, followed by death. But now we see like it's magic now and still death, because we all know death are also a good counter for magic. And that's like there's like literally a big shift of meta since the balance update. Okay, and as you can see also like if we gonna compare now, let's talk about the net decking, like literally, so we can like browse each. So on that rank 1 is the aggro magic, the only aggro magic in all the magic archetype. And he managed to get a perfect score. And the funny thing is, this is like a surprise because I believe if you check his like history, he's just like played this deck on last 5 hours or last 3 hours. He literally played on the remaining 3 hours, and we all know on the last day or even like last few hours of the weekend rank, usually there are less people doing a weekend rank, and they're like people are just trying to play the game just to do a like a 30 wins or farm flaxing. So he has like a good strategy. He has like a good deck, no doubt, but he has like also a good timing. So that's the main reason why he managed to get a perfect score. Okay. He has a good job. So if I were you guys, like usually day 1 of the mythic rank are literally chaotic because everyone is playing for the mythic rank. Now if you are like struggling to get a good win rate, sometimes better to play on the last day or last few hours of the weekend rank, because there it will be like less aggressive compare on the day 1, day 2, and day 3. This unknown person managed to get a 25 score because he has a good strategy and a good deck at the same time. So if you want to copy him, you want to get 25, just follow what he did, and I highly recommend that. Sleep Death, this is like by Rokoshu. He managed to get like a 23 wins. I like this variation because the sleep the main reason why it's called sleep death because of the siren of the gate and the canopic order. This is like literally the combo for not infinite but a series of combo of sleep to do the board control. And this kind of deck I believe is more on like a control archetype, but his win condition are using Land of the Dead and the Priestess Takat and Necromancer Anubian combo. And I like this one. I wish I know this one. Probably I might use this one on the weekend rank. The next one is JFam, also 23 win. This is like a control magic. He has no 9 casting cost. That's a good thing in my perspective. 9 casting cost is too much greedy. Maybe magic versus magic. But I like his like build here. He has like 2 metamorphoses. Metamorphoses are also good to counter the 9 casting cost. Imagine if my opponent play Polyhemia, I can like metamorphosis it and change that into a Leyhorde Hatchling. And as you can see, this is like literally more on control. And literally the main reason why this is dominating the aggro nature because they have lightning talisman, they have Faraday, they have like multiple AoE to literally clear the board. And especially the Unbound Flame. I believe Unbound Flame is one of the most powerful magic spell here. It can literally deals 5 damage to opponent and clear the board. And FYI, I believe they might nerf it. This is like my prediction. My prediction, they might nerf the Unbound Flame here. They might nerf Unbound Flame. So the next is the this is for me, this is supposed to be not an aggro because there are like 7 casting costs. This is like a mid-range relic where a control variation but has an OTK. So the OTK is the whetstone and relic followed by the unrestrained power. Technically, if you have like dual with whetstone, unrestricted power, and any weapon, especially a 4 attack like Kite, you can deal as much as damage as a 28 damage. Imagine a weapon damage 28 strength. It can like literally OTK you. And that's the good thing because followed by Slayer. One Slayer, and if I manage to set up my combo, I can like OTK you 20. And he has like a good control using creatures and weapons at the same time. So this is getting popular. The only difference is because it's one of the most expensive due to Demogorgon, Magic Missile, and Skite. I believe you might encounter this kind of deck 1 out of 25. You may encounter them or not at all. But who knows? Let's see if there will be a sudden increase in popularity of this deck. There might be a variation, a budget variation of this one by replacing both the two expensive weapons. As you can see, I do not have this two weapon. It's very expensive. And as you can see, it's 0.79. It's like almost like one at even though the market is down, you can see, but still, this is the most. I think this is one of the most expensive deck here. So another one is the Heirloom Dead by Chiman, and this is like literally pure Heirloom with Apocalypse. Literally board control, especially those big minion at the mid games and end game. Usually for me, Heirloom is not about aggro; it's more about control and doing the combo at the same time to kill opponent. Card draw magic. This is like a combo of this is a card draw because of the All Seeing Spire, Palace One, and the Vortimir. No, yeah, Vortimir. I believe as long as you get these 3 cards already, you already considered a card draw magic, especially All Seeing Eye and Vortimir. And as you can see, this is like more on like a control and OTK. The school spell slinging school teacher is getting popular now. Especially they have like an OTK variation of this one, literally a one turn kill. This is not a one turn kill, but it can give you still a little damage using a Academy and Card Shark. Imagine playing dual spell slinger and then Card Shark. It will literally give you as damage as like a 20 damage, as big as 20. Okay, so board control and then do the combo spell slinging. It's not literally an OTK, but it can deal massive damage. Another one, control magic. He's using Moramag here instead of the Hylian Elite. Moramag is nice because it deals 8 damage to everyone and 8 damage to the character. Palace Incantation, good card to counter. A good card to counter the heirloom because it obliterate each void. And as you can see, A little bit tramp, board control, and literally an AoE damage using Unbound Flame or Muramag. Next one, another control magic with dual Hylian Elite. I don't know why it's become the estimated price for it. Uh, okay, I believe there's someone. Ignore the estimate price here. Impossible that this become a 4 Ethereum here. Control typical control magic, safeguard, and with lightning talisman. Early round board control and end game big minion. Another control magic, almost same archetype with Palace Incantation to counter Heirloom, and we have Lightning Talisman Safeguard for protection for like the aggro, and Unbound Flame Steel here. Uh, this is like Order Deception. This is also expensive because they have Demogorgon, Wither Finger, and even have this one has a Jason, but this is like literally a control archetype to do board control, especially against aggro. This is also good probably versus magic control because you have like a dual cutthroat that you can literally steal those a big minion of opponent. Imagine you steal Hylian Elite and play that versus magic. That will be like devastating for magic because he has 12 health. You really need a lot of big spells there to kill Hylian Elite there. Another deception, same archetype. But this one is only has one cutthroat, but literally more on like a board control and the end game probably Jason and Demogorgon. A card draw magic. This is a not this kind of card draw magic are famous in the Divine Order. This is more on like a tempo aggro where you have like early round creatures and then use Oni Spell Sword to kill your opponent in mid game or in the late game by buffing him using a lot of spells and give him protect using Vow of Learner and Ward. So that's like he will get big and giving him Ward and protect for opponent literally hard to kill him. Okay, this is like this archetype are super good versus any control archetype. A little bit less in aggro because they're only relying on tracking bolt here. As you can see, the only way for them to do AoE is using tracking bolt. They don't have like compare with the control magic where they have like a lot of AoE. This one has less AoE. Uh, Another control magic variation, no polyhemia, but still they have like Killian Elite and City Planner. Ratify probably used versus a control magic matchup like a mirror matchup. Heirloom, this is with the only variation that I see using Nexus Scepter. Literally good versus a control archetype. Mid-range war, this is the first player who managed to enter the top 20 with a war archetype. So that's why high chance he's been copied by the other aggro war here. And but same build style, like literally board control and do the big relic attack using whetstones and unstrained on any of his weapons. As you can see, there are like typically 6 weapons here. So if I attack, for example, I use a weapon to board control, and then if I have like a lethal, you might get surprised that I might like use the combo like might deals you as big as 28 damage or as big as like 24 damage or 26 damage. Imagine that 26, 24, 26, or 28 damage. That's literally can kill your opponent, especially if you have like a Slayer God power. You may do control board earlier on and Slayer to deal damage time to time, and then boom, one big swoop attack. Heirloom control, another heirloom control, similar with the Flavius version, and this one is with Necrosceptor. Sleep Deception, uh, with this one has dual cutthroat, a good versus control, and aggro one because of like the Demogorgon and such. He can play Jason to gain more end game high level cards legendary. Another control magic with using Hylian Elite and City Planner for their end game. Typical good for aggro. And another control magic, almost same archetype. So as you can see, the control magic are literally ramping up into Hylian, controlling the board until they play City Planner or Hylian to kill your opponent. And another card draw magic, which I believe is also good versus control, because they are like literally do spells, kill your opponent by spells. And as you can see, probably using Wind Breath and Unbound Flame to burst damage your opponent. And that's it, guys. So my prediction will be still like, if there will still no buff and nerf, we might see still have like a control meta. But who knows? This might be like the return of the sleep deception or the warm control, where we all know, if there will be a control versus control, I think the war will become like the dominant there, because they have like the God Slayer power, and they have like an OTK also. But who knows? They might The good thing about Magic right now, they have like multiple variations. Like they have control, they have aggro, they have like card draw, which can also be used versus control also. And probably they might be a comeback of more control deception, like the sleep deception that we see, or the order deception, or literally relying on Cutthroat, Witherfinger, Demogorgon, Jason for the end game to like, it will be like a long matchup now. So we are now transitioning from aggro meta into a control meta. And unless there will be a new balance update, that who knows. But we are now in FYI, we are now in the control meta. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, kindly please subscribe and like, and see you next time. And thank you for watching. See ya.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out.